MSI, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Well, we thought Liquid got over those choking issues a long time ago, but apparently they've come back into style. Welcome back to the Xfinity Analyst Desk at ESL Pro League. 14 straight rounds on the terrorist side that Liquid just lost.
That wasn't pretty.
That's a kick in the balls.
Kick in the balls.
I mean, it was rough, and especially in the manner they were doing it, because, I mean, ever since they got map point, you could tell that NRG was just hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
In so many rounds. Like, they get, fortunate, I guess, fortunate slash, they did a good job of using their utility well, in these low buy rounds, but still, that could have so easily swung into favor of Liquid to the point where we would have seen like a 16-8, 16-9 victory, and that would have been it. We would have been way into map number 2 by now.
And jokes aside about the Liquid joking thing, because I do want to more focus on NRG winning this game, because that's an impressive comeback to make happen. I mean, we have to just say, we've been singing their praises a lot this season, but a young team to be able to grind out 7 rounds to force overtime and then to win into double overtime, we see a lot of those young teams fall flat once they get there. That's got to be impressive.
I think it shows a lot of mental fortitude, and it shows another character to this team, because we talked about how they stomp against the lesser skilled teams like the tier 2 or tier 3 teams in NA.
Yeah.
They always play close against the big dogs, and for some reason they keep on winning. It's I think the last 4 days they won 2 games or 3 games against SK, Cloud9, and now Liquid with a margin of 1 or 2 rounds. So it's always close, but they always manage to win it. And as you said, it requires a lot of mental fortitude to be able to still believing in the victory in a scenario where you're down 15 to 7, I think it was, 15 to 8, especially on a map like Train, where as you said, it was hanging by a thread throughout the whole time. But if you keep believing, and if you keep believing that your fundamentals are good enough to go up against teams like Liquid and those teams and can actually make it back to the comebacks, then you just gotta tip your hat for NRG. It's a team that is currently in the making, and if they keep on the trajectory they're on right now, it's gonna be a team that we're gonna talk about a lot in the future.
I want to move on quickly because because of the triple overtime, I'm going to speed into the next map. But I do want to mention, I mean, talk about mental fortitude. This is what NRG overcame. Not a single one of their players was positive in the kill-death ratios, and 38 frags out of a Liege. Not many teams can survive that against Team Liquid. So impressive stuff from NRG on that opening map. Follow-up map is Mirage, I believe. I want to say, yeah, Mirage. Okay, so we're going to be going into that one. Like I said, no one had a positive kill-death. Relatively quiet game from NRG players altogether, except obviously down the stretch of big impact plays, a bunch of good one-on-one clutches won by NRG in overtimes.
I think that's the most impressive part, honestly, because you talked about the mental fortitude aspect of it. Cirque had 2 frags after the first half. 2 frags.
You don't like to see that.
And he ends up with 31. Obviously, you go into double OT, but he does all of that work from the CT side out, and Ethan as well. Comes up big, and you saw that how they kind of finally got control over the aggression coming out from Liquid with early pop dog control and that kind of stuff.
Right.
All of that, normally you see just young players completely falter and have no idea what they're supposed to do, where to go, but they never lose actually belief in what they're doing. No team that's actually afraid of what's going on or don't believe in themselves would actually go for the kind of setups they do. With Breeze and Zerk pushing aggressively in Ivy, for instance, when they're against match point, that kind of thing. You don't see that with teams that lack confidence, and that's a great trait to have within a fairly inexperienced team. Because yeah, sure, you have Daps and Fugly and so on in the team, but compared to Liquid, they're pretty much newborns on the competitive scene. They don't have that big stage experience to kind of help them through these kind of moments.
Is this, you're going to wrap your prediction of this? I just want a quick answer on this because we only have 60 seconds. But is this a case now we're starting to see against a team like NRG with Cirque that Liquid's missing having a primary opera?
I think so. I think especially in this matchup, because Cirque is so dominant with it. There's a very few players out there, especially with AVP these days, that can be as dominant. Kenny is one of them, Fallen one of them, but that's about it. Guardian obviously also in there as well, but there's so few, and Cirque is becoming one of those guys. So I think Nitro's going to have his hands full on this one on Mirage as well. So I would actually favor NRG for this one too.
Vendetta, you as well?
I'm a little
sticking
bit,
with the boys.
You know what? I'm such a big fan of NRG. They're just growing on me, so I'm gonna stick with them as well. Again, I think if Cirque just gets off to a normal start, that's just gonna put NRG in a better position to close things out. So yeah,
certainly anyone with a positive record as well would help. Somehow still pulling it out. That's astounding to me. That is gonna be Mirage. We're gonna bring Harry in as well as the players finish joining up into the server and getting started. And actually, it looks like they're already there. Take it away, Harry the bunny.
Wow, these are just getting better and better, Jason. You've really upped your game. Trace needs to keep an eye out because you're coming for his job next. You've already Oh, well, maybe that meme was a bit much. I was going to say, you've already taken Semblers, but no, you know what? I'll throw it out. There we go. There's the shots. Yeah, it's going to be Liquid versus NRG, map number 2. And NRG, of course, they were able to win it out over on Train. Now they want to try and take the 2-0 versus Liquid. You know, you kind of imagine, right, that would be like a bit of a dream for them to once again best them online. And not just, you know, split the series 1-1, but take like a dominant 2-0 finish. As, you know, I mean, they've bested them in every online thing thus far.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brain about this, how the remaining schedule for NRG looks at this point, and if they were to beat Liquid, if they have any potential suitors to actually deal with them. You know, we might be live in a world where NRG comes into the World Finals of Pro League as a #1 seed from North America if they were to close this out 2-0, which is incredibly impressive. So lots to play for here, as we see Liquid picking up the pace towards and completely empty B bomb site. Foggy though, as he falls down from the boost, does find Steel. Well, bomb plant's gonna go down. The retake is at the hands of NRG.
Yeah, amount of advantage up in favor of NRG as they try to come in for this retake. The bomb is down, and they've let that timer tick down pretty low. Taking their time, pushing on in now. Alicia's on the bench, and actually he's going to have to take a seat as he finishes off with a double kill, triple kill from Twist. Okay, now 4. That's utterly fantastic, but Cirque's going to answer back with 2 of his own. What a pistol round this has been. I don't think there's any time. He does actually grab himself a kit. Would have to hold the bomb now. He's going to get on it, but Nitro finds him, and Liquid, they find the pistol round here on at Mirage.
Twist getting probably a little bit more than what he expected in that scenario. I was about to say, after getting those 2 first tries, you probably would have been happy with that. But why not double the score if doable? So, good start for Liquid. Do have to remember that they did split pistols on the first map as well. But Liquid obviously going to be happy with that kind of a start. Fair amount of SMGs on their side, 1 UMP, 2 MAC-10, so want to try to rack up as much money as possible. A bit of a different approach from NRG at this time, though, not doing any sort of nade stacks, actually committing to a bit of armor and upgraded pistols, and even a scout on the side of Ethan. Maybe even a little bit surprising that you wouldn't have seen something like that onto Cirque, but instead it's going to be Daps, actually. Well, Cirque just holding onto that Deagle, no armor, because he wants that up in the upcoming round. Well, he's made his way into CPL. It's not going to be met with any sort of resistance as of right now, and I'm going to be curious to see whether or not NRG kind of adapt the same approach as they did for their CT side on Train, which is very non-confrontational, just allowing Liquid to get a lot of space to work with and take it from there and rely on solid crossfires and potentially retakes to get their rounds on the CT side. And Liquid make their way in towards the B bomb site once again. Fair bit of damage there being done onto this side of Liquid as well, though Cirque and Ethan find 1 frag each, and Twist and Nitro are both tagged up, so those Deagles are going to do a significant amount of damage.
Actually, it's all on Twist. This round could very easily elude Liquid, but once again, Twist is able to pull it off with a fantastic 3k from him here. Is a 4k in the pistol round and then 3 in the anti-eco. Manages to lock in at this second. NRG now in a, I was going to say a tricky situation, but it's not at all. I mean, they're going to be happy with the amount of damage they've done in that previous round. And it kind of eases the pressure that much more, actually. Looking at the future, because, you know, you're going to have to reinvest across, what, 3 of these players into the next, or go for the bonus round. Regardless, doesn't really leave Liquid with too much to work with, especially if they can complement it with damage here. And so far, they've found plenty of it. These USPs picking up 2 kills over in mid. Ooh, 3. Twist goes down as well, and he's kind of been the reoccurring man of the hour for Liquid.
Oh, Fugly spots out Steel as well. No bomb in the hands of him, but the bomb is rotating through B-apps here. It really does seem like these NRG players have a railgun setting on their USP that I have yet to find. They're definitely nailing shots, and you can see Ethan already closing in the gap here. Daps getting into position as well. He's going to get boosted up. I'm just going to give out his AK to the higher HP member of Zerk. Bomb goes down, but going to be a pretty tough hold actually for Liquid. No armor on the side of NRG, but got the number advantage to throw at them. All right, now though, very nicely dealt with on the side of Liquid. Barely taking any damage actually, the remaining players, as NRG make their way in. So well done by Steel and Nitro to salvage a round that was looking very, very hairy. Towards the end there, but yeah, 3 rounds on the board for Liquid, but they never really got the opportunity to actually build up that economy as most teams would like to do, and because NRG had so much success with this, finding kills and whatnot, they will get pretty decent buy. Obviously not optimal in terms of utility. It's never going to be that way when you buy into that second round, but could definitely be worse.
Shot there from Cirque. He goes back for another through the smoke, but doesn't find anything. And Liquid, just like that, they have players out in towards the top of mid. So they're going to reposition to try to keep an eye on Palacio. Actually, he's going to reroute over towards window. And as the smoke goes in, that's going to be him switching up position in it through the murder hole he goes. Not too sure where he's going to end up, but Breezy in the meantime is up in ladder room, keeping an eye on this short aggression. Steel's starting to work his way up through Connector, does have support from Elige and the rest of the gang.
Liquid, once again, similar to Train, been given so much free map control here. So little interest from the side of, oh, that's a nice play. Liquid just boxing in Breeze. Kind of figuring that, well, there's nobody showing mid cat or, you know, anywhere at all. Bound to be somewhere. Oh, Breeze just gets the wrong timing there as Twist comes in to clean him out. Main advantage for Liquid. They do make their way slowly but certainly towards that A-bomb site. Again, solid Molotov usage here. Twist is also going to win out the duel versus Ethan. And Fugly desperately wants to get into the thick of things, but it's easier said than done. Daps, aware of the fact that Elige is coming, but not going to do him any good regardless. And Liquid just very methodically taking control over that round. Just perfect utility usage from start to finish, and well, even in the scenarios where they didn't have utility to deal with it, winning out their duels. So getting off to a perfect start here, 4-0, and another eco on the hands of NRG.
Yeah, this isn't that great a start for NRG right now. I mean, kind of was expecting a bit more from them, Alvor. But, you know, it's still early days. Liquid are clearly feeling more confident here than they were on Train. Naf, okay, that's 2 kills. Now just going to back away. Picked up the round advantage. That's all they needed him to do. Dap's going to be located and dropped over in at window. And now these players that are looking to try and rotate back will be cut off and executed by the remaining Liquid players. It's all onto Fugly. And you imagine he's going to try. Yeah, if he can find Naf, that's not terrible. Gives him an AK to that shot, but that nade manages to run away from it. It's a lengthy duel, but Liquid now on with their 5th, 5-0 on Mirage. The buy comes in now for NRG, but the issue is with this CT side, if you start to go down like this and, you know, you just lose rounds consecutively without saving anything, you get into a scenario where you kind of buy, then you lose the round and then you have to save because it's so much more expensive to invest onto your CT side. Then, you know, you buy, you lose, you save. Now you just kind of repeat that. It's very easy to get stuck in that rut. So they have to try and break out of it, not only to damage this Liquid economy, but just to preserve their own. And it looks like they think the answer to that might be through this mid-aggression.
And talk about mid-aggression. Got, well, pretty much 3 players committed to this. Nobody's going to be there. The entirety of Team Liquid are sitting in B-apps. Well, Daps does have an off. It gets flashed out just at the right timing. That's going to allow for Steel to close the gap here. And well, we're looking at a retake 5v5 from the get-go. Actually, I say that. Steel's just really chasing aggressively here onto Catwalk. And he's cornered off 2 NRG players. Nitro on his end has decided to end Ethan's fun for the round. Fugly's on a very quick rotate, but you can see Naf is already in a position to deal with this. And honestly, if you're NRG at this point, you should probably just go for a save. you have two players who are tagged up, Breeze more so than Cirque, but there's no real openings here for you to find. Fugly just staying around, hoping to find somebody rotating out of the bomb site. Doesn't win that duel with NAF, and well, luckily for the rest of the NRG members, they should be able to stay alive here. Oh wow, bit of a gamble from NRG there, committing 3 players towards that mid, especially because they didn't actually opt to push up early on either. Just gives Liquid all the time in the world to have that duo in front actually get close enough to the B-bombs to take it in due time. 6-0. And Liquid much happier about how this has started out than what we saw on Train.
Yeah, this is above and beyond better from Liquid. It's night and day in comparison to their T-side attempts on Train. And, you know, I keep saying it's early days, but for NRG, they do have to try and find something sooner or later. Cirque going to get caught off guard as the boost comes in, and that's Man Advantage picked up now. And as well as that, I mean, look at this positioning. Steel's already all the way out onto Sandwich. He's so far forward. He could actually just kill Ethan with the rifle, but instead he's going to burn him out. There's a man wrapping around from behind as well. That's the Legion who's boosted up into window prior. And NRG, they have to save once again. The Rifle's looking to try and get carried forward. Fugly's tag low. Daps isn't looking too healthy either. Everyone's close to dying. And Liquid, of course, they're going to go hunting. 5 players alive. Almost all of them on over 10k. I mean, that's a lie, but they're all around there.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. And yeah, Fugly just being lucky to be alive at this point, honestly. Getting trapped by the Molotov. Well, we'll see how aggressive Liquid gets with this hunt. They've already kind of cornered everyone in. But I'm not really sure why they're being so passive about this. Not really a big fan of that. Nitro definitely can afford to throw his body at some of the NRG players and see how that pans out. But yeah, this was one of the more half-hearted attempts I've seen. They do find Breeze though, and that is a pretty big get. But the op stays alive in the hands of Daps. Let's see if he throws that over to Zerk. But yeah, 7-0 start for Liquid. Very different story from what we saw on Train, and well, time to talk things through. Understandably so for NRG, and they did seem to come out of their timeouts refreshed on Train at least. Maybe that's going to be the case on Mirage as well.
I mean, I hope it is. It would be a real shame, you know, to see NRG look so good on Train and then just get steamrolled here on Mirage. But yeah, something's definitely amiss, and Liquid very much have their number. Now, of course, you know, Mirage is a good map for Liquid. I think you kind of look at it, it lends itself very well to the playstyles of a lot of these guys. My favorite to watch, and it hands down, has always been Elige. And, you know, I mean, he also had a tremendous impact earlier on Train, so he's feeling warmed up. And then, you know, with NAF, I just think, you know, so many players who prolifically have been good on Mirage in this roster. And that's really showing right now. Twist and Nitro lighting up the scoreboard here as they make their way out towards A. They've already taken control of it within the first, what, like 15 seconds of the round. Why not? Fugly's here. So is Daps. How much can they really get done, though? Nitro's been allowed to wrap around. Actually, okay, let's give them a way back in. And you can see Liquid getting a bit nervous. They've realized they've overextended a bit into CT. Gone a bit too big for their boots. The confidence could come back to punish them, but now with the Legion in the back, you imagine this is all said and done. Daps goes down. Twist, monstrous 3k. He has been on fire in this game. 8-0 now to Liquid. And
12-3 for Twist.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's the thing, though. When you do look at this Liquid roster, there are so many names in here who, like, at some point, this has been like a map where they've been on a team that's just been unreal on Mirage. Yeah, I think NAF as well, you know, the Renegades, they were very good on this map, and a lot of that came from him. And, you know, the fact that he could break out that double AWP. Twist enjoys AWPing on this map. That's usually actually what we see from Liquid, I think, is he's the one to pick it up alongside Nitro here.
It's definitely true, and right now Liquid playing with a ton of confidence. That previous round was, you know, rather disrespectful move, straight up just running through Molotovs from Nitro up in up A main or A ramp, just finding openings, and NRG haven't really been able to find any sort of stop to what Liquid are doing at any given point of the game.
This here, right? So Steel was doing this the other day. And he's just like a phantom. His ability to sneak into this B-bomb site. But this time he was actually spotted. Breezy had an idea that someone had snuck by. But I don't know, maybe he's just thinking, You know, not too sure of that anymore. Maybe thinking Steeler progress further forward, but no, he goes down and that's it. The B-bomb site falls. NRG have to forfeit this round. Liquid going to be on to a 9th. That is unreal.
Feels like he's just realized that, like, oh, I'm playing against Steel. He does this.
He's so good at it. I don't know how he does it. But like, he's always able to sneak through B apps. There's just something about it.
Some players just have the uncanny way of doing that. Adren, for instance, the Gambit player, had an unbelievable talent for just being able to walk out of A apps at any given point of a round and just not be spotted. And it just kept baffling me because he would always do it. It could be start of the round, mid round, late round. And the end result would always be the same. Just walk out, find 2 frags. That kind of just wins them the round. And yeah, Steel apparently just seems to find his way to teleport into kitchen every now and again. And well, NRG, they do their best at trying to hold on to weapons, but they lose 2 as the bomb timer takes out. Only Zerk remains alive, and oh, this is starting to get real ugly. Even if they were to right the ship at this point, they're looking at maximum 6 rounds, and well, the trend doesn't really look like that's going to be the case either, considering the buy at hand. And Liquid just really having their way with NRG. That's the first time in a long time we've seen that actually being the case.
I mean, yeah, most definitely is, right? But as you said, can they, like, you know, right their wrongs and get their shit back on course? Now, Twist is up through connector. This round, of course, just a partial buy. You're not expecting too much to come up from it. Naf is over at ramp, looking like they try to split out in towards this A-bomb site, and as Naf dispatches a Breezy, that's going to be fantastic. Now, Fugly, who's up in Palace, could actually be a bit of a difference maker here.
Oh,
he's creeping in, and he does. Actually, 2 early, but he only gets 1. Naf is in a fantastic place to trade, so just like that, it's all on Daps. He's all the way over at B, very, very far away from this.
Daps is definitely not in the right place to be. I guess if he wants to hold on to his Light Kevin and CZ, then that might be the case, but obviously at this point you do need rounds if you're NRG. And well, we went from seeing Zerk and Ethan having issues to be able to contribute on map number 1. This time around, though, Breeze having a real rough go of it, still sitting at 0 frags going into round 11 eventually. And Liquid just absolutely dominant. Honestly, the closest rounds that we've seen, you know, if you want to give any sort of ray of hope for NRG, has been the two first rounds after losing Pistol. So you saw scout damage being put out, obviously with the 4 sub rounds where Twist ends up getting a 3k and surviving on 3 HP, not 5 HP, and then the following round with the USPs and whatnot that ended up in a 2v4 that Steel and Nitro closed out. But since then, it's just been all out Liquid.
But the craziest thing, right, is between these 2 rosters, Liquid have never beat NRG on Mirage. And even if you look back at the history of these 2 organizations, even, Liquid have only ever beat NRG on it once. So, I mean, just what a run this is right now from Liquid. I think, you know, it's also important to highlight. I never really like doing it, but it's like, you know, Breezy's still yet to get a kill.
Yeah.
He's normally someone who is very much responsible for their ability to step up here on Mirage. So him struggling. There we go.
Just
need
to
criticize him a bit, and then suddenly he remembers what it means to find success. He's got a taste for success in the same way that you have a taste for ham and cheese toasties, Halvor.
Do love a good ham and cheese sandwich.
How many of them have you had this evening as your dinner?
Only 3. Pimp took the 4th one.
Okay, Pimp took the 4th.
Yeah.
Classic Pimp, you know. 4th one's always the tastiest. And he
did look pretty juicy. What does not look so juicy is this B take from Liquid here. Breezy and Ethan combining to find 2 frags, and that's going to leave Naf all by his lonesome. Obviously, at this point, doesn't really try to save. They've got pretty much maxed out money. Ethan's got to find a 3rd for the round, no, 4th in total for the round. So very nicely done, and well, Breeze went from having not really done anything at all to at least getting a kill and a couple of assists to help himself out, get into the groove of things. And a much needed round for NRG, but at this point it does feel like they do need to close out the half and get it to a 5 to 10 half. They want to have a shot at this. That said, though, obviously if they do manage to grab that score line, getting a pistol in the second one would bring them pretty much back into business right away. Look at this aggression here. Coupled aggression actually from NRG. They're doing it as a bit of a split up duo. Fugly pushes out through BFs, and well, that's gonna alert the rest of the squad that something is afoot. But with him going down, actually they're still waiting. Firing squad from Liquid, they might second guess themselves, but yeah, full committal to the rotation towards 8, and it seems like Liquid are gonna follow up on that as well. So this is gonna be a brawl waiting to happen. And that brawl is being won out by Liquid as of right now. They're still not committing fully here. They know something's about to happen. Probably expect NRG to have made these kinds of rotations, and second set of nades go through. It's going to make all the more difficult. No spawn smoke though, and well, Breeze is going to take advantage of that. And Nitro going down, and Daps is going to follow suit, taking down Twist, but here comes the response. Cirque and Breeze taken out of business. Daps left to his own devices versus 3, and that's going to be 2 players too many as Naf finds the trade. And right back to Reset City for NRG, not the place you want to be in.
Yeah, that's awful for NRG. You know, getting reset after your one small victory is always heartbreaking. But it's made that much worse by this scoreline, 11-1. They need everything they can get, and now it's all been stripped away from them. Over towards the top mid they go. Actually, all 5 players here. The nades do good damage, but the CZ able to go ahead and claim one. Surely they get nothing more done. Ethan is now left 1v3. Trying to find some chance deagle shots through the smoke. Steal, as always, in the back line. Wrapped around and finds it, no problem. Liquid going to go up 12-1. I don't know what's happening anymore, Halvor. You know, the first game, it was tense. It was an emotional roller coaster from beginning to end. And it was just as close as we thought it would be. And this game...
this hasn't been as much of an emotional roller coaster as a bit of a emotional nightmare for any NRG fans.
It's like, I don't know if you will... Well, no, it's a UK theme park ride called Oblivion.
All right.
And it just is, it's roller coaster. All it is it goes up really high and then just one drop straight down.
Oh,
that
okay,
is the
gotcha.
Perfect metaphor. That's the sort of emotional roller coaster that this has been for NRG.
Even when Breeze thinks he gets the drop onto Twist, it's not going to be enough. And well, Liquid, they can't seem to lose a duel. Even when NRG are in favorable positions to actually grab a kill or two and potentially swing things around, Liquid are just so on point individually here. Twist sitting at 17-6. Nitro not being a whole lot worse at 14-3 and 5. This is it's definitely some firepower that Team Liquid obviously would have liked to have towards the tail end of Train. And Naf getting a little bit excited there, goes up against 4 NRG players. Is taken down, but that is also going to spurt aggression towards that B-bomb site. Solid nade damage done by Daps, but it's only got an MP9 to work with here, and whiffs too many bullets to really punish Liquid. So bomb's going to go down after plant scenario once more. They do have a fair bit of utility. No Molotovs on the side of NRG. A couple of smokes to kind of close off a couple of angles, but they're not even going to get close to the bomb site. Nitro puts an end to Fugly and Zerk. Nathan and Breeze, what are you going to do?
Well, Ethan's going to die in a smoke, and Breeze is left 1v4. And he's going to die not in a smoke. So, really changing the game.
Changing the game, not dying in smokes.
Up. Very, very, just like an unreal half from them. And a very, very poor half from NRG.
Well, you say it's a poor half from NRG. And I mean, obviously, if you're losing 14-1, you're doing something wrong. But in a lot of these cases, even when we've seen NRG have favorable positionings for duels and whatnot, it's not necessarily that they fluff it so badly. It's more that Liquid players are hitting extreme shots here right now. You can see the fallout, like how quickly Naf is to adjust his aim in that kind of situation. So many solid plays from Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, I think, if you want an honest, I think what's happened here is, Pimp, he's phoned it in. He said, I have a flight in a couple of hours. Got in contact with his boys over at Liquid. You guys have been giving it, say, 50%. Do you want to go 100 for me? And that's exactly what Liquid have done. Elige, he's up here on the platform. He's flashed back. Ooh, that nade's done damage. And they've gone walking by Elige. That's dangerous. But he actually doesn't get anything done from that position. Twist. Ooh, he was so good in the last pistol round. It was him who basically won it out single-handedly. He's on to the first and a second. No, Twist, not again. You're giving me flashback, Twist. He's finally going to be dealt with. And he's left Naf 1v2. Spots out the first man. They double peek into it, and Naf does go down. NRG, they've at least managed to win the pistol round. That is the first step in a lengthy road to the comeback here on Mirage. 14-2. And now they have to try and convert these anti-eco rounds.
Well, they did it on train. What was it? I think Jason pointed out that we had 14 T rounds in a row on the side of NRG. Or no, it might have been CT rounds, actually. But regardless, 14 rounds in a row for NRG to bring it back and eventually win map 1. And they're going to have to do something similar here on Mirage to do this. Well, they do start off by winning the pistol. Let's see what they can actually deliver here. Into eco rounds should be a formality, even with the investment made on the side of Liquid. At least does the Scout has done some damage, but has also been found out. That's 35 HP. And a little bit concerning how few nades there's left on the side of NRG here. Not going to be able to have any smokes for any angles or flash themselves into sites or any Molotovs to force out Liquid, but pure firepower seems to be working out all right. They have taken a significant amount of damage on 3 players, though. It's not completely out of the woods, and Steel is lurking. Well, gets spotted the second I mention it. Even though the total HP pool for NRG is not impressive here by any means. He will be able to get that second round in a row, and actually, yeah, the 2 remaining players on Liquid have more HP than the entirety of the NRG team.
That's some quick maths from you, though.
It's risky maths. I'm looking at it right now. If I actually was correct about it, I think I actually might have been off by 2. Let me actually do the math here. Haven't done math in about 10 years.
You don't have to. There's computers to do that now.
Exactly.
Computers do everything.
It's a magical thing. Living in 2018.
Kind of scary, isn't it? Quite soon,
I was actually 1 HP off. 191 HP in total. But I'm going to count the fact that they took damage from the bomb. So, in the end, I ended up being correct, and that's all that matters.
There we go. Can a computer do that? Just
exactly.
BS its way to being correct.
What are you talking about? Technically, I was right. I was correct, eventually.
Well, let's see. Because technicalities are all in the fine print. And Liquid, they've signed their, I don't know, really was clutching at straws to try and find some sick way of linking that in. And it just didn't come to me fast enough.
We're having about as much of a struggle as NRG are in this game.
See, that was smooth.
Here to help you out, Harry. And Ethan? Well, we're not the only ones struggling here. That's for sure. Ethan just deciding to take an early vacation. Steps out of the round. Luckily for him, he does have Breezy, who finds 3 quick frags and puts this to bed. Not a whole lot Naf can do with the USP only. Bomb is about to go down. Naf's not going to grab the opportunity. Cirque, though, looking in the wrong directions. That is 1 man down, but Breezy's going to find his 4th. So he's already been doing better for himself on this T side. Finding more impact. Yeah, he's actually gone from 2 frags to 9 in a rather quick fashion. Still quite some ways to go, as we mentioned, but they did manage to set up a bit of a comeback on the on the first map of Train. Might be able to do it here once again. And I mean, if you're Liquid at that point, you would have to hear the voices in your head kicking in about 3 or 4 rounds from now.
Frags going back and forth, but actually it's NRG to win this out over a mid. It's Twist holding close on ramp that could make all the difference. Cirque and Ethan both there. Smoke going to start to fade. He's able to light up 1, but Ethan trades, steal those, pulled it back to a 1-on-1, and it all comes down to this. Ethan checks it, but Steel shuts him down, and just like that, Liquid will be up 15-4. Match point.
Now the big question is, Harry, do you believe? You've seen it once. Can it happen again?
You know, I'm a big NRG fan. I'm a big fan of the comeback. Of course I believe, however, what a needless question.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. All the semantics, all.
One thing is certain is the crowd, they're going to be rooting for NRG. You know, you can hear them filling the auditorium. It all comes down to this, that every round counts.
Can you hear the roars from the green room? Well, Breezy sneaks his way past.
Breezy
Initial defense. He's going to find 3 frags. He's really coming alive here in the second half. Just a complete no-show on the CT side, but now definitely wants to steer things in the right direction for NRG.
I mean, I always say at NRG, they're a fan of their theatrics. They like to make things cinematic. It's always the same storyline, though. It's, you know, oh, this guy, really important to their success, but he's not performing. He's not here. And then, second half, you know, all hope's lost. Suddenly, this guy who, at the beginning of his adventure, was you know, not showing up. He emerges. He's the hero. And that man's Breezy this time around. It was Cirque on train. And now it's him. Monstrous performance from Breezy in these last few rounds. NRG going to be on to a 5th. Liquid now with no money, and this is a chance for NRG to start to string a couple of rounds together.
Yeah, it definitely is. Could be the start of something great. I'm just thinking, Team Liquid, Mirage having a match point. A lot of bad thoughts come into my head. This might be a little bit much, or like too big of a deficit, I guess, for NRG to fight back from. But there's always a chance. And if Breezy is going to continue to do that kind of stuff every round, then obviously you're pretty well set.
I mean, he's gone from being bottom of the server to almost top of the board in, what, like 3 rounds?
Yeah, no, he's been quick about it. He's definitely doing his part. As you mentioned, not a whole lot of money to go around on the Liquid side. Now, with that UMP from the previous round, Elise actually opting for an MP9 and light Kevlar. 3-man or 2-man defense on B. Fugly actually might think that this is completely open, considering the window hasn't been locked down. Cirque definitely did. Oh, well, I'm just going to be punished. Naf still unnoticed. Just going to wait for the right time to strike here. Ooh. Ethan just smells something in the water, and Naf's position has been spoiled. Now they're all going to come circling in on him, and Fugly picks up his 2nd frag of the round. Yeah,
Tried to be the naff fly in the ointment, but it just wasn't the case. That's
it's getting late.
6th round for NRG. I was happy with it, you know. Screw both of you.
I was actually surprised. I didn't see that coming.
But now for Liquid, there's no money. Yeah, the smiles are gone from their faces, and NRG.
It looks poised.
They stand poised to pick up a 7th. Oh, there's a lot of players in window. That's
3 less now.
What's he doing? How's he doing this? It's a USP. It's not meant to beat these. Not meant to beat these guns. Finally, normality is returned, and NRG onto a 7th round. Liquid, the buy comes in now, and this is their chance to stamp out the resistance from NRG, put them down. You know, Pimp would use a metaphor about killing a bird or something here. I don't know. I never track that metaphor, but he uses it all the damn time. And it all comes down to this round. Rifles across the board for Liquid. And NRG changing the pace. A fast play in towards this A-bomb site. They're going to get it for free. There's no one here from Liquid. This could be a grave mistake from them, but a good opener from Nitro. Has delayed the push, and that's bought a lot of time for these rotations. The utility usage is pivotal here from Liquid. Twist has gone through the smoke. Can't deny the bomb plant. They do manage to get away with that. Naf is in. And actually, just as quickly as he's in, he's down. Twists. The man to try and hold this back. And Frag's going left and right, but it all falls onto Ethan. 1v3. Backed away to ramp. Nitro's going to find it, and just like that, Liquid, they will be winning out this map. 16-7. They split the series with NRG 1-1. And, I mean, what a turnaround from them in comparison to Train. That was close, but this one was no such affair. They were in control from beginning to end. And now rejoining me on the desk, Jason and his team of yodelers. How are you three doing tonight?
How are you doing, Harry?
You know, no one really asked me how I'm doing, Pimp. I'm doing okay. I'm enjoying it.
Lovely. Yes, Liquid are going to take Mirage away, powered by a strong first half, a strong T-side, just running fools over.
Yeah, no, that was high tempo, high octane.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. It kind of felt like midway through the half, they kind of realized like, oh, we're pretty good at this. And NRG have no idea what they're doing in terms, or they haven't found.
It's not NRG's map. Let's say that.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it at least. And NRG, Liquid kind of got a hold of the fact that they didn't have anything to stop Liquid with, so Liquid just kept running with it. It's that kind of no respect to the brand of Counter-Strike that we really saw coming forth in that first half. And
seemed a lot like Train should have gone without the comeback, right? No one from NRG. There's only one player positive. Everyone was kind of getting beat up, so a really nice job from Liquid. Good rebound for them. Pretty good stuff.
Pretty good stuff. You know, splitting in 1-1. I feel they can be happy. You know, they got a point as well for the overtime.
OT loss, yeah.
So technically, Liquid are the winners of this series. So great for them, and they are pretty much securing the first place in the league now. I don't think they're going to be reached.
Yeah, maintaining their status quo at the #1. They're keeping their distance with NRG at the point, so that's quite good. Someone who's not maintaining the status quo is ESCA. If you want to check them out, play.esca.net. They just launched the new feature, clips in one of your live pugs, and it actually just takes all the action that you've just had in that round, and it can make a little frag video. It uploads it directly into a streaming platform, and then you get to have some fun with it. So check that one out for sure. If you missed some of the games today, if you tuned in late, let's check out the results from North America for the evening. You can see there, Optic able to stop SK, who was able to rebound on map 2. Cloud9 survives the scare with Dignitas and then just kind of snuffs them out. And then obviously this series, NRG winning in double overtime, and then Liquid taking Mirage with relative ease. Europe was early on this afternoon, or the afternoon for the North American guys.
I'm completely confused. Like, it could be early morning. Who knows anymore? Time is a weird thing. But yeah, we definitely had some EU
Time
matches.
is a flat circle. You weren't going to go that route?
No, I was thinking about it, but
look at all the games that Europe had. They had a party today. 2 different streams, all the games. G2 2-0ing Envy. That's a pretty cool one. FaZe getting beat up by North. That's surprising. That existed experiment not working out too well early on. They do split maps, but 16-5 to North has got to be painful. And then Fnatic going 1-1 as well with Space Soldiers. So let's check it out. The standings of North America. Team Liquid going to be up on top, as we said. Optic rises 2 places, 13 and 1 for 14 wins, I guess it would be. Or is that 13 wins? I never know how to read this one.
14 or 13 regulation wins and 1 OT win. So
okay.
14 in total.
14 and 2 is the record that Team Liquid has. NRG there in second, Optic obviously rising up to third. SK, that's the one you want to keep your eye on because Cloud9 has slipped into the playoff picture, but SK rising up 2 spots. They're in ninth. They still have a ways to go, and who knows if they'll be able to reach it with Renegades and Cloud9 both playing pretty well, all things considered.
SK are playing to avoid relegation right now.
What's that?
SK is playing to avoid relegation.
I think they're safe with that just because
you're getting fallen on Twitter, maybe.
Nah, like he's going to come at me and then.
Let's look ahead to tomorrow. We're going to have some cool matches there as well. SK versus Ghost. So I don't want to say test for SK, but they have looked shaky. So this is one where if they start losing these matches against Ghost, you're going to be worried. Luminosity and Cloud9 going to go head to head. Obviously, Cloud9 wanted to maintain that 6th spot. And Liquid versus Splice. Another chance for Liquid to just maintain that lead in first seed as Splice reels from some roster changes as well. These are the European matches we'll have for you tomorrow. There's going to be 2 streams. I'm only going to read the main stream. It's going to be LDLC taking on G2, Fnatic taking on Astralis, and NIP FaZe could be very cool to watch. And yeah, that's solid. Anything you guys see in that European stream? You guys going to wake up early for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to wake up early to watch a lot of Counter-Strike. I can't wait.
Just, set that alarm for about 3 p.m. and,
I'm going to come in early to the studio, at least, and watch NIP
You do that
FaZe.
frequently, so it wouldn't actually surprise me to see you.
There's not a whole lot of fun to be had at a hotel room.
I can imagine that. Yes, that is it for today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This was the Xfinity Analyst Test. This was ESL Pro League. We'll see y'all tomorrow.